Cherokee County wins, I think it creates a three-way tie.
I think that's right.
And then you go to the tiebreaker.
The dreaded three-way tie.
Yeah, and if Etowah wins, Cherokee County falls to third and has to travel. Boy, do you want to play Cherokee County in week one as a 2-3? No, you really don't, because that's a good football team. Do we even want to talk about Oxford to Clay Chalkwell?
Well,
just enough to say it's a game.
Well, it's an important game. Oxford they've clinched a playoff berth, but with some, what would some people would say improbable upsets, they could improve their lot. Is the story yet written on Oxford? And of course, there's the intrigue of this game, obviously, with Kamari McClellan being Clay Chalkwell's quarterback and having transferred from Oxford.
Right. So, there you go. I think the last time Oxford went over there, they got bloodied pretty bad. So, we'll see what happens this Friday night. I'm with Joe. Some things have got to happen for them to improve their lot. I don't too much see that happening. All right, let's talk about Donahoe going up to Spring Garden this Friday night. I don't know that it matters because, I think that the cast is already set for Spring Garden and Ragland in a couple of weeks to kind of determine the region title. Is there anything, Joe, that lets Donahoe get from 4 to 3?
Well, of course, they'd have to win.
Yeah.
Spring Garden is they're the power, and I think in that region, Ragland I think is the second best team. Donahoe would really have to have a great game. I think, even though I think having seen Donahoe a couple times, I really do like their team.
But as far as Donahoe, with the razor-thin numbers that we've documented over the course of the season, just for them to be in position to get in playoffs and to clinch that playoff spot, that's an outstanding job that Jeremy Satcher and the program have done.
Absolutely. All right, a lot of people are talking about Fife at Pisgah. I don't know why. Fife's going to go up there and score as many as they want to, but a lot of people are saying this could be Fife's week. I don't see it. What do you guys think?
No.
Okay. On to Geraldine at Piedmont.
It's who's on the one side of the at.
Right.
You see Piedmont on the right side of the at. That's a pretty good indicator of what your analysis should be.
To me, the only question when I see Piedmont playing so-and-so and so-and-so this Friday is how many touchdown passes is Jack Hayes going to throw? And are we really appreciating what we're seeing in number 7 right now, because he makes it look so dadgum effortless?
Yeah, and, there's just so many things that go into what he is and his success, both intangible and tangible.
All right, Ohatchee at Glencoe. Obviously, we're not going to talk about it because we're doing it, but your take.
I think we talked to Chris earlier about the injuries that they went through earlier this year. Glencoe, I've heard, is kind of going through that right now. I think Ohatchee's a little bit further along.
So you think the belt stays in Calhoun County? Or do we have to wait and read your paper Friday or Thursday or whenever you do those?
I'd say that's a safe bet.
All right, let's see. What else do we see on here that makes any difference? Isabella at Vincent. That's a game for region position. B.B. Comer's pretty much locked it up, but Isabella could raise their stock with a win.
That's a tough region.
Yes, it is.
I tell you, Isabella, long trip over from Chilton County to almost the Georgia line in Ranburne. They came out with a very impressive road win, especially after taking a tough loss to B.B. Comer the prior week.
Yep. All right, Leeds and Moody. Boy, that might be the best game in the state this week.
That defense against that skill. That's going to be fun to watch.
Yep, it ought to be interesting. Leeds is going to want to run it. Give us what we saw at Alexandria this past Friday night. What, an 8-minute drive?
Yeah.
And just keep Moody on the sideline, I think, and just try to grind this thing out, get a lead, and hang on to it.
Yeah, of course, the greatest remedy for a good quarterback is a good pass rush.
Exactly.
that made Tom Brady human in a couple of Super Bowls, and of course now if you breathe on Tom Brady, you got problems. But
okay, White Plains at Munford. Oh, wait a minute, we didn't pick Leeds and Moody. I want to know, what do you think? Where are you going? Because you won't put this one in the paper, will you?
No, just like baseball, I'll always err on the side of pitching. In football, I'll err on the side of defense. Leeds.
What do you think?
I think if Jackson Arthur can have the same type of impact we saw Friday night, I think he can complement the Green Wave defense really well. So I like Leeds as well.
I kind of like Leeds in this game because Leeds is a program that's been there, done that. Moody isn't. And I think you got to lose one before you can win one. And this may be it right here. We'll see. All right, White Plains and Munford. Implications there, Joe.
Well, I think Munford's pretty solid as far as the number 4 in that region, and they're going to have the best player on the field in Sylvester Smith.
Absolutely.
So I go with them.
All right, I like Munford in that one as well. Let's see Plainview and Westbrook Christian, implications in that region there in that matchup. The Ohatchee fans need Plainview to hang it on Westbrook Friday night.
They did,
and I think it could happen.
I think it could too. This is one of those coin flips that could go either way. Really, both of these teams need to win this game, and I think Plainview is going to go in and just eke out a win on the road.
Walter Welborn at Weaver. Can't leave without talking about this one because this is, two teams that both need a win, and I think both of them will probably enter this game thinking they can get it.
Well, I think Welborn's the better team right now.
Yeah.
And I would think that they win that game. But, one thing about Weaver this year, they don't give up. They if they can make it hard, they're going to make it hard.
All right, well, there you go. Those are the ones that are on my list. Did I miss anything that's on yours?
No, I think all of yours are on my list too.
All right.
So we have our coverage area is somewhat overlapped.
Just a little bit.
But there's some divergence too.
All right, well, that's going to just about do it for us. We're kind of finished a little bit early tonight. Let me tell you that next week we've already got some guests lined up. Coach Wes Tidwell from Raglan will be here next Friday night with the Purple Devils. They haven't been over with us in a few years. They've got a huge game coming up next week against Spring Garden. We may have some news on that for you. Also, Coach Michael Short from High School Football Alabama's After the Game will be here. And you know what Coach Short's going to want to talk about? He's going to want to talk about playoffs. Who's going to play who?
Playoffs.
Yeah, let's talk about playoffs. Who's matching up with who and what traveling here means. And that, Coach Short's done it all. So it ought to be an interesting evening with him.
He would be the ultimate bracketologist.
Yeah, I would think so. And, of course, let us remind you that, once again, we will be over in Glencoe this Friday night. It's the battle for the belt. You get to touch it one more time, James, before it heads out the door. And
touch it one more time.
There you go. It goes in somebody's trophy case. It'll either be Ohatchee or Glencoe this Friday night over at Wilson Darnell Field, 6:30 for countdown to kickoff. We get the ball in the air off the tee at 7 o'clock. And, of course, we'll have it all for you right here on all of FNN's streaming platforms. So we'll hope you'll join us. And, I got a feeling it could be a pretty decent ball game. I mean, you got two teams that do a lot of the same things, and they're both struggling to get to where they are, and it could be a good matchup.
The over/under should be how early it gets over. 8:30.
And there you see on the screen, these are in now. These are our brand new stickers that have our QR code on it for streaming. If you scan it, your phone takes you right to the stream, and you're all hooked up, or your iPad, or if you got a webcam on your TV, you can stick that on the bumper of your car like you see right there on that truck, or you can put it on the back of your iPad, or wherever it needs to go. Just remind you of all the locations where you can get FNN each and every Friday night. And Jake, if we can, let's throw up that Power 5 real quick before we get out of here. There it is, and it did not change this week. For the first time all season, we've still got Anniston on top. We've still got Moody and Leeds, second and third. One of those is going to fall this week. Etowah is going to Cherokee County. They could lose their spot. And, of course, Randolph County looks to be pretty safe with Beulah coming in at 1-6. But they could move up considerably. Look for Piedmont to get back in there. And there are some other teams sitting just on the outside. If Cherokee County were to beat Etowah, I could see them finding their way in. And who knows what's going to happen. But, boy, that's some pretty stout company, Joe, right there, 1-5.
Yeah, I was noticing devils and devils.
Lots of devils.
Yeah, lots of devils in there.
There you go. So that's the Power 5. We put that out each and every week. And don't let us forget to remind you about our postseason magazine that will be coming out before Thanksgiving with pictures and highlights of all of our games of the week. Plus, we'll have some feature stories, including Coach Smith and Jack Hayes you see there on the cover. And, boy, you're talking about a young man who's had a hell of a year. That number 7 right there kind of fits the bill.
A hell of a career.
Yep, no doubt. And that will be out before Thanksgiving. Posters for the schedules are available now, so you can go out and get those. They're available at Grub Mart. Big Woody's Tires still has them. Anniston Auto Trim, and there's a bunch of other places. Just go to our social media sites or our website, and you'll find out where you can get those right here from FNN. They are absolutely free. And, again, the magazine, there'll be a limited number of printed copies. I think we're doing like 3,000 or something like that, and then the rest of it will be digitally available online, and you can pull it down and look at it and read it that way. But, again, Friday night, the battle for the belt. One more time, guys. One more time. Here we go. Right here.
Can I put that on?
Huh? Here, Joe. This is as close as you'll ever get to something like this. You gonna stand up?
Ta-da.
There you go, right here. The champ. The champ is here, as Eddie would say. Here it is, the belt. There you go, James. One more time. You get to hold it. The belt goes out the door Friday night as the Battle of the Belt, Ohatchee and Glencoe. And we will have it for you. That's going to do it for us this Tuesday night. Thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks to the folks from Randolph County, Coach Prestridge and his group for coming up. That's a good little drive from Wedowee, and we appreciate them making the trip. And also to Coach Finley, his lovely wife, and the Ohatchee Indians for joining us from out Creek Bank Way as well. For my compadres here, James Hardy, the voice of the game of the week, Joe Medley, writer for the Anniston Star, Alonzo Kirby behind the cameras and lights, and Jake Jacobs on the computer. Jim Jacobs saying good night from Struts in Oxford, and we'll see you Friday night for the battle for the belt.
Hey, who are you?
Oh, hey, Jeff, I'm a car thief.
What?
I'm here to steal your car because, well, that's my job.
What?
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 It happens. So get all staked. I'd be better protected from mayhem, like me.
PCA Insurance is an independent insurance agency located in Piedmont, serving the cities of Piedmont, Center, Hoax Bluff, Jacksonville, Collinsville, Gadsden, Anniston, Cave Springs, and Oxford.
In Alabama, school spirit is in the air on Friday nights. At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're giving our customers the opportunity to show their school spirit every day with our new Spirit debit card. We've designed a unique card for every Calhoun County school that includes the school's logo. So every time you use the card, you're showing your school spirit. Come in and get your school spirit debit card today. We've got spirit at FNN Bank. Service, solutions, and strength. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
as the 2022 season inches toward the finish line, we begin one of our biggest nights of the season, our battle for the belt, as the Ohatchee Indians make the short trip north to Glencoe, Alabama, Wilson Darnell Field, as the Yellow Jackets of Glencoe get ready to go to battle against the Ohatchee Indians in our battle for the belt from Wilson Darnell Field. And as you can see, a special night for the Glencoe Yellow Jackets program, as not only their football players, senior football players, but from all across the fall sports being honored on senior night here in Glencoe, Alabama. And a happy Game Day Friday wherever you are watching us from here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. James Hardy with you on special assignment tonight is Coach Eddie Bullock, as we have once again coming out of the bullpen, or at least coming off the bench tonight once again for us, Coach Paul Barlow. And we certainly appreciate you for helping us out and joining us, Paul. But it's a special night, obviously, for Glencoe being senior night, our battle for the belt, but a special storyline you don't see too often across, well, especially in high school football, and that is Coach Scott Martin, the new head coach in his first season for Glencoe, facing his old team tonight.
Right. You know, I had the same similarity back when I coached. I was a head coach at Lincoln for 1 year and left and went back home to Weaver and had to play Lincoln the next year. You know, and it's kind of bittersweet. I enjoyed that. There was a chance for me personally to go back home and coach and be, you know, my old school. But you had all those kids you had time invested in, and it was pretty neat time to do it. But at the same time, I kind of dreaded it in a way, you know.
Obviously, it was a chaotic set of circumstances that led to Scott Martin leaving Ohatchee, a program he was at for nearly a decade. Took over the head coaching reins here in Glencoe. Their 2-5 are the Yellow Jackets, and still looking for their first region win, as they are not going to be able to make the Class 3A playoffs this season, as they come in, as we mentioned, 2-5 overall, 0-5 in region play. But, Paul, for Ohatchee, they had by far their best game of the season last Friday night in their first victory of the season, actually against a pretty solid Hoax Bluff squad. They won 21-7, did the Ohatchee Indians. They led from wire to wire. And when you look at the region standing still, with Piedmont at 5-0 in region play, Geraldine at 4-1, and then a logjam of 4 teams, beginning with Sylvania and Hoax Bluff at 3-2 in the region, and Westbrook Christian and Plainview at 2-3. Ohatchee's just basically one game behind that logjam. So Ohatchee still has a lot to play for as far as being mathematically alive for the Class 3A playoffs, but they have to win tonight. Their season finale next week at home against Plainview, and they need a little help. But for Chris Findley in his first full season with Ohatchee, still, despite all of the struggles that they've had, Paul, they have to feel really good about their set of circumstances, especially with how they played last week.
Right. They got to take the positives they had last week. Like you said, they led the game from start to finish and then build off that, and hopefully it carries over tonight. You know, I'm sure each team's familiar with each other's, you know, terminology and the system that they use, basically the same system. So, you know, I think if they'll just come out and play like they did last week, they got a good chance again tonight.
Now, we had Chris Findley and a couple of his players, Chris Ferguson, tight end and linebacker, as well as a quarterback and corner and quarterback Bryce Noah for Ohatchee as part of our FNN Coaches Show, which you can see every Tuesday night during the season from 7 to 8:30 from Strutt's Wings in Oxford. But Chris kind of summarized for us as far as just how tough this season was with the rash of injuries that they've suffered for much of the season. Really, they're now really for the first time this season as far as at full strength health-wise. But he's liked how his team has been able to progress, and certainly how they played last week as far as that wire-to-wire win against Hoax Bluff at home as part of their homecoming last week. But for Chris as well, this is an opportunity as far as kind of him making his mark on the Ohatchee program, Paul.
Yeah, you know, he's taking over the program, and, you know, he wants to carry on what they've been doing in the past. They've been successful, you know, and then he did a good job last year filling in for Coach, and he's just got to keep doing what he's doing, what he believes in, and everything else should take care of itself. Maybe they got I think you said they had a small junior class, but as these others come up, and I don't know how the junior high program is, and you just got to keep building off that and keep working.
In fact, Chris Finley mentioned to us 2 juniors on the entire roster this year for his Ohatchee Indians. They made the Class 3A playoffs last year, but for our FNN Game of the Week last week, the Leeds Green Wave were very workmanlike as far as their recipe of opportunistic defense and a strong special teams, including 3 field goals from Jackson Arthur in taking a 23-7 win at Death Valley against Alexandria last week. Motion is Lada. Will keep it off the left side, gets good blocking, and in the open field, 50 has the first down, and a whole lot more as Lada pump fakes, steps up, plenty of time, and now finds a receiver complete in Nelson, as he'll get the first down and a whole lot more, and inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. So as he'll keep it on the option keeper and gets toward the end zone, and he's in for the Leeds touchdown. Man in motion, and a fumble, and Leeds gets the first turnover of the ball game.
Get this right here, and Leeds come out with the football. It could hurt them.
Barker under center, and the pitch back to Ross, trying to turn the corner, and gets the first down to the 40-yard line. That little extra block, Eddie, on the right end was able to two receivers to the near side. 4th down and 5. Man coming in motion as Barker dropping, has time, and now throws down the field, has a receiver, and that is complete for the touchdown. TK Downey on the overall, the second-ranked team in Class 5A in the state this week. There's the shotgun snap as Lada tosses the fade pattern down the field and is incomplete. Outstanding coverage that time for side. It'll be Lada in the shotgun. The bubble screen pass to Nelson, looking for some blocking. He gets stood up as he'll fall forward, however. And for Leeds out of the timeout. Lada in the shotgun. Plenty of time, and now throws, and that's incomplete. That's behind Felder, his intended receiver, to Downey. So Barker under center, as this will be the underneath give. It looks like to Downey as he'll go forward for the first.
Don't be surprised if you. There we go.
Here's the play action and throw into coverage, and that's intercepted. Leeds with the football as the interception by Zane Hood as he'll advance it into Alexandria territory inside the 35 to the Connor Nelson. Lada in the shotgun as he'll keep it off the left side and goes free into the end zone for the touchdown. We'll take a second look at that touch. 3rd down and 5, but 22.2 seconds to go as the pitch back goes to Ross as he'll get out of one tackle, try and turn the corner, and does so and gets the first down. Impressive run that time by Antonio Ross as he 3rd down and 5. Barker shotgun, time, throws into coverage, and that's going to be intercepted. The Leeds Green Wave comes up with their 2nd interception of the night. Here comes Ross in motion as the play action and the throw and the slant complete to Downey. 1st down and more as he'll get inside the Leeds 40 to the 37-yard line. Here's a straight ahead, quick hitting give to Ross as he'll bounce it to the outside, looking for room and has some as he'll break out a one tackle and trying to fight for the first down as he needed the 11. And I think the spot will get him a first down. Far receiver as the play action intercepted again. 3 interceptions for the Leeds defense, as that was a big-time interception. The man in motion is Lada, dropping, setting up the screen, and gets it to his running back complete. That's Jones with the catch down the field. Jones lumbering down and gets close to midfield. I'll say the 36 officially, as Ross getting the call and bouncing it off the right side as he gets the first down and still on his feet as he's taken down in Leeds territory. Here's Ross on the carry as maybe we'll get back to the 20-yard line. Not sure if the ball came loose, as Leeds says that the ball came loose. And if they did, and it does come loose, the Green Wave get their 5th turnover. It's causing Alexandria's 5th turnover of the night.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, asked you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Did you hear that? The State Farm thing. Da-da-da-da-da. I think we're in a commercial. Jake from State Farm, I knew it.
Don't worry, Chris. Things are gonna go surprisingly great.
Dad, look!
Ooh, see? Surprising. Just like State Farm's surprisingly great rates.
I didn't even record.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Step into the offices of J. Britt Middlebrook CPA, where you'll find professional one-on-one service for business and individual clients. In this ever-changing tax and economic climate, you can count on receiving the expert advice you need. J. Britt Middlebrook works hard to provide every client what they need to meet all deadlines. Tax season will be here soon. For all your accounting service needs, call or stop by at 1913 Berry Street in Oxford. That's J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA. Aniston Auto Trim and Body Shop is your best stop for full-service auto body repair, including all body work and professional painting. They also specialize in complete classic car restoration. When you have an accident, you want it back the way it was, and that's what you get with the team at Aniston Auto Trim. The same is true if you're ready to restore your dream car or a timeless family classic. They work with all major insurance companies and provide free estimates for every job. Come by today and see Stacy Jennings and the gang at Aniston Auto Trim and Body Shop, just up the hill off Quintard on Greenbrier Deer Road.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Glencoe High School, Wilson Darnell Field here on the campus of Glencoe High School. Our battle for the belt, as the winner of this ball game will get our belt, as you see the graphic in the top right-hand portion of your screen, in their trophy case after the game tonight. James Hardy, Coach Paul Farlow, and our very own Jim Jacobs with you for our special battle for the belt game tonight, as we have, including this week, just 3 more weeks left in the 2022 regular season before we begin the postseason journey. And fellas, when you talk about the big ones and certainly get into October, and including this week, just 2 region games remaining, every game, especially for teams jockeying for playoff position or to host a first round game, every game becomes even bigger.
Yeah, it does. You know, like you said, depending on what region, how the teams lay out, you know, staying at home playing that first round of the playoff is a lot better than having to drive halfway across the state to play a game, you know.
Absolutely. In fact,
let's start with a game that's going to kind of shape some of that up right not too
Well, it's a good distance from us, but still right up the road. Etowah at Cherokee County, guys. This is a big, big football game tonight up in center.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Leeds and Moody, this might be the biggest game in the state of Alabama, regardless of classification tonight. And these are two outstanding teams as far as the Blue Devils and also the Warriors of Cherokee County. And this game, I think it's going to go right down to the wire, fellas. But like we talked about on Tuesday, I think because Etowah has been playing their best football of the season at this time of the year, especially coming off of an impressive, dominating road win a couple of weeks ago at Aniana. I like Etowah to carry that momentum and get out of center tonight with a close victory.
Go ahead and give them a not so fast, Coach. I like Cherokee County tonight. I think they've got the edge just because they're at home, and that's the only edge they have in this one. This ought to be a heck of a ball game, Paul.
Yeah, it should be. That, you kind of the home team there, but, at this point in time, you just got to go out and play and execute your game plan and what you believed in all week and see what goes from there.
All right, next up on the slate, White Plains at Munford. Just on the surface, most folks think, that's not much of a game, but actually it is. It will cement Munford's fourth spot in the region and lock them up for a road trip into the playoffs, but they must win tonight against White Plains, a team that has improved throughout the season.
And really both teams have improved as far as from 2021 to 2022. Especially Munford after having a tough 2021 campaign that was riddled with injuries. Already 4 wins on the season. And as you mentioned, Jim, basically if they win, they're in the playoffs tonight. So I think with that, especially being at home, I like Munford to come out with a solid W.
Yeah, I think Munford will win this game as well.
Yeah, I like the Lions to take care of business as well, and it'll be a nice Saturday for the Big Red Machine fans down in Munford. Next up on the slate, here's the game that might be the best game in the state tonight. Would be without question if it wasn't for another one we've got coming up here in a few minutes that we'll be talking about. But Leeds at Moody, what do you think, James?
That's going to be another outstanding ball game tonight, and this will determine who wins their region. These two teams separated by about maybe 10 minutes as far as essentially a crosstown drive.
6.7 miles. They call it the bridge battle for 411.
Very nice.
Coach, do coaches like that kind of stuff?
Well, that's more for the fans, I think. But, you can use that stuff to help get your team motivated to play, especially if you got a close rival like that.
It's good to sell your programs on. Kind of good selling point. And you can always sell your team in your program on outstanding defense. And if Leeds can play the type of opportunistic defense and get the consistency in the kicking game from Jackson Arthur that they got last week at Alexandria, I think Leeds can go into Moody and eke one out tonight. So I'm going to go with the Green Wave to roll in and get the W and win the region in Class 5A.
Well, they say defense wins championships, so I got to go with the Green Wave as well. I thought they were really impressive against Alexandria this past Friday night when we saw them over at Death Valley. So I'm going to go with the Green Wave to make that trip across 411 or down 411 across that bridge and come home with the little hometown deal there.
Yeah, you got Moody being at home. I was impressed. I went and watched the game, too, last week with Leeds. I thought they looked real good, got good size up front on both sides of the line there. So it ought to be a heck of a game.
Coach Lee strikes me as one of those teams that by the time the fourth quarter gets there, you're just ready for the game to be over. I mean, they were really physical.
Right. You keep getting pounded on, all game long. After a while, can you take it anymore? You just give up. No more, no moss. So it's like just, after a while it wears on you. So,
and speaking of Alexandria,
yep.
A key game for them at home against Southside, as the Panthers still have an opportunity, but they have to win tonight and next week to be able to have a first-round home game in the Class 5A playoffs. I think this is a game, even with a week off for Southside, that you have to be fully prepared mentally and game plan-wise to be able to go in to Death Valley and get the W. But in my mind, fellas, I think Southside just has the better players this year across the board on the offensive line, but also at quarterback. And I think probably about a touchdown to a 10-point win tonight for Southside.
All right, so you're picking the Panthers over the Valley Cubs, and it's going to be a tough night for Alexandria if they can't eke this one out. All right, let's see. I like Southside as well, though. I think it's just not Alexandria's year. Here's another region championship game, Coach, and you know a lot of folks aren't talking about Danny Horn's team right now, but maybe they ought to be. Central Clay County and Beauregard, the Volunteers hosting the Hornets tonight down in Lineville.
Yeah, Clay County is, just hearing people talk earlier in the year is supposed to be a down year for them, and like I say, they're playing with the championship. So, some people's down years are different from other people's down years, if you know what I mean now.
Yeah, and keep in mind, too, for Central Clay County, they played a very tough schedule across the board, not only including their region, but non-region games as well against Alexandria and Benjamin Russell. And I think being battle-tested like that will help them, especially for tonight. So I'm going to pick the home team in Central Clay County.
All right. Well, of course, that gets us to the end of our big ones for this week, and that brings us to the game we came here for, guys. Tonight, the battle for the belt, Ohatchee and Glencoe here at Wilson Darnell. We hadn't been here, gosh, I don't know. Some of our crew were talking about it earlier today. It's had to be 3, 4, 5 years since we've been here, and it's a big ball game tonight for these two teams in the sense that the belt's on the line. Kind of gives them a little extra something to play for.
Absolutely, and just the sentimental nature as far as Scott Martin playing his former team, and you throw in a senior night game for Glencoe, and this is an interesting ball game between two similar programs as far as not just records, but really the systems that they run and really the overall mentalities that they're trying to establish as far as their programs, Paul.
Yeah, and like I said, we talked about earlier, both teams are familiar with each other's, offense, defense. I'm sure the terminology is pretty much the same. And senior night, you'll remember that game the rest of your life, when you play in a senior night game there. So I don't know, do they have any more home games? For them, it could be their last home game ever here.
Well, for Glencoe, this is their final home game of the season. So they'll have 2 road games to close out the 2022 season. And again, Glencoe out of playoff contention as captains coming to midfield. For Ohatchee, it will be Bryce Noah, the quarterback, and Chris Ferguson, the tight end and middle linebacker that we had this past Tuesday night on the FNN Coaches Show from Struts Wings in Oxford. And then the senior class for Glencoe, the captains for tonight, as we'll send it down to Keith Whitmire, our referee from the AHS. Well, they will visit Keith Whitmire, our official tonight from the AHSAA. As tonight, 11 seniors for the Glencoe Yellow Jackets playing their final home game in the black, yellow, and white. So we'll see a lot of running from these two teams as far as kind of the wildcat quarterback, heavy run-oriented system on offense from both teams that Ohatchee has had for many years now, and that Scott Martin is implementing here in Glencoe. The first season for Scott Martin, veteran head coach in the Alabama high school football scene. 2-5 this year here at Glencoe, and then 12 seasons overall, 87-49 his record. And then Chris Findley comes into tonight, 7-9 as far as his head coaching record, and 1-7 the record this season. But Ohatchee coming away with their first victory of the season in a wire-to-wire effort as they led Hokes Bluff the entire game on their homecoming last week. And there you see a quartet of the captains at midfield. Garrett Gaskin, one of those, along with quarterback Noah Fairley. as Ohatchee has to win tonight, and they need to get some help as far as remaining alive for the Class 3A playoff hunt. A loss tonight for Ohatchee, and they will not be in postseason play, as we'll see Ohatchee, the Indians, in their white tops and bottoms and the white helmets, as they will take the football first to begin tonight's ball game. This is Week 8 of the 2022 Alabama High School Athletic Association football season, as the playoffs just around the corner. One more region week next week, and then the end of October, of course, brings about the final week of the regular season before you get into the postseason for all 7 classifications in the state of Alabama. Paul, kind of give us some of your keys for both these teams tonight.
Again, I think it's going to be line of scrimmage play. You know, what team can control the line of scrimmage? You know, they're both going to be there, probably 2 tight end offensive look. A lot of down block on the one side, pulling on the back side, a little misdirection. Then who's going to hit the play action pass when they get everybody, you know, coming up trying to stop the run? Because they're going to be geared to stop the run. And then whenever the coaches feel like they could take a shot on a play action pass, you know, try to get a big play.
Now, in talking with Scott Martin earlier this week, Paul, he mentioned as far as some of his film study that Ohatchee had been passing the ball a little bit more this season, but last week against Hoax Bluff, they went more to the run and were successful with the run. As there you see the Glencoe Yellow Jackets coming out of their locker room off to our right for the final time at home here in the 2022 season, as the Ohatchee Indians are looking for their 2nd consecutive win and trying to remain alive as far as their postseason hopes. James Hardy and Paul Farlow with us tonight. Eddie Bullock on special assignment. We'll be back with us next week for our FNN High School football game of the week. We certainly appreciate you all for joining us wherever you are watching us from this week for the FNN High School football game of the week, our battle for the belt, and certainly a special thanks tonight to Mayor Baswell and the council from the town of Ohatchee for their support of our FNN High School football game of the week. Our first quarter presented to you by Snow Timber. For the finest in timber land management, contact Chad Snow and Snow Timber in Ohatchee. Harvesting, planting, land management, and more. When trees are involved, Snow Timber is your go-to choice. Call 256-453-3616 and ask for Chad. So here comes the Glencoe Yellow Jackets as Gavin Bray will kick off for the Yellow Jackets in their black tops and bottoms, as Ohatchee will be receiving off to our right as Jesse Baswell and Devin Howell, the deep returners for the Indians of Ohatchee. Week number 8 of the Alabama High School Athletic Association football season upon us, and the squib kick will get at least bobbled around and fielded with good field position for Ohatchee as they were able to come up with that loose ball. As coming out at quarterback will be Bryce Noah, who had a very rock-solid performance in the 21-7 win against Hoax Bluff last week. 25 carries, 98 yards, and a couple of touchdowns from the quarterback spot. As we'll see also Nate Jones and Tyler Waters, the running back and fullback respectively, and Devin Howell as a wingback. Here's the keeper for Noah as he gets a couple of yards across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. Line of scrimmage up front for Ohatchee. It'll be Jayden Abernathy at left tackle, Aiden McNair, the left guard, Ashton Harper at center, Elijah Engel at right guard, and Tristan Kiker at right tackle, Chris Ferguson, the tight end, and, as we mentioned, Devin Howell, the wingback. So first play gains 1 yard for Bryce Noah, the quarterback. And there you see the heavy set to the far side and the underneath give to Devin Howell as he'll get stood up and tries to drive forward for whatever yards he can. As he'll get maybe a couple of yards as Caleb Chapman from his linebacking spot makes the tackle for Glencoe. So Paul, 3rd down and long as they'll say no gain for Devin Howell on that underneath give.
Yeah, tried a little wingback reverse there. Glencoe did a good job of reading the pulling people and filling their gap.
Line to reach the Glencoe 45 for the first down. Here's play action for Noah. Has time and now throws, and that's high and incomplete, intended for Devin Howell. Paul had Howell open that time on the far side, just couldn't hit him.
Yeah, he missed him. He had him open there. It just had an opportunity to go awry there. Had a good chance to hit him, make a big play, get a first down, pulling people and filling. They may need to try maybe
the
Glencoe
45 for the first down. Here's play action for Noah. So yeah, there you see. And now throws, and open Howell is a good closing speed that time from the secondary, from the safety, the free safety Cooper Gomez for Glencoe. So you'll have Austin Mann and Cooper Horton back to receive. As here's the Ohatchee punt. I'll go to the far side. As that will be Horton fielding and advancing to around the 30-yard line, where Glencoe will have it first down and 10 to go. So Noah Fairley will be the quarterback, the senior, as he's the leading rusher on this Yellow Jackets offense. Running backs will be Austin Mann and the fullback Garrett Gaskin. Wingback will be Aaron Mann. Tight end Carter Cook, and also at another tight end spot will be Christian Prater. We'll take a look at the offensive line after this first down play. It's our first quarter presented by Snow Timber. So there you see shotgun with Fairley, as he'll try and keep it off the right side, and Jesse Baswell comes up to make the tackle in the backfield for a loss. The line of scrimmage up front for Glencoe, it'll be Caleb Chapman at left tackle, Jordan Haney, the left guard, Kevin Rodriguez, a young freshman at center, Lucas Huff, the junior, at right guard, and Taylor Westcott, one of those 11 seniors that was honored in the pregame as part of senior night festivities, at right tackle. So no gain officially for Noah Fairley on first down. Sets up a second down and 10. Football at the 30-yard line. So here comes the underneath give to Mann, as he'll get wrapped up and taken down for a loss. Aaron Mann that time, one of the Mann brothers on that carry. So that'll lose about a yard or two. And that's going to set up a third down and long. An outstanding defense, Paul, that time by Ohatchee.
Yeah. Last two plays, Ohatchee's got done a good job getting in the backfield, penetrating the line there. Not a good way to start, getting that much penetration if you're going to income.
Dylan Allen and Tristan Kiker will be the defensive tackles for Ohatchee. Deacon Eagle and Tyler Waters will be the defensive ends. It'll be third down and 14 after a 4-yard loss by Aaron Mann, as Fairley tries to keep it, and he'll run into the teeth of the defense for Ohatchee. And that's going to be for a loss of a couple, and it's going to be punting time for Glencoe. So Connor Montgomery, the punter, will come out for his first punt of the night. Not going to be a whole lot of passing, even though we've seen a 1 third down pass so far tonight from Ohatchee. So there you see Montgomery getting set to kick things away, punting-wise, for Glencoe. So both teams will have gone 3 and out as far as their opening possessions, as we have a timeout on the field, and we'll take a timeout with them here in the first quarter. Battle for the belt, the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
At Glencoe Hooks Bluff Funeral Home and Aniston Memorial Funeral Home, we see our community as extended family.
Hello, I'm Mark Box. My wife Holly and I would like to thank the families that we have had the honor to serve. We see our community as our extended family. That's why we work so hard to invest in our community and the families that call it home. At Glencoe Hooks Bluff Funeral Home and Aniston Memorial Funeral Home, you'll find services that are tailored to meet your needs, whatever those may be.
Piedmont Cutoff Highway in Glencoe and Highway 431 in Aniston. Our family serving your family.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
Connor Montgomery punts to Colby Hester for Ohatchee, who takes it from the 41 to close to the 45. So we'll call it a 3-yard return for Hester. And it'll be first down and 10 with 8:25 left in the opening quarter in our battle for the belt. Ohatchee and Glencoe, as it'll be Jones getting the underneath carry, and he'll get a couple of yards. Well, we'll call it 1 and set up a 2nd and 9 at the 45-yard line. Glencoe on defense. We'll have Jordan Haney at a nose guard spot. Also J.T. Hancock at defensive tackle, as well as Matthew Williams at a defensive tackle spot along the line of scrimmage. Linebackers, Garrett Gaskin along with Aaron Mann, Colby Bishop, Caleb Chapman, and in the defensive backfield, Noah Fairley and Cooper Gomez. As coming to the near side, Ohatchee could break this one open, as it'll be Jones, the running back, taking it down the sideline and gets it into the Glencoe red zone inside the 20 to around the 12-yard line. Like a second look at that big gainer. And it's just a little pitch play that time, Paul, that goes for big yards.
Yeah, a little speed option out to the back here, and they had good blocking the point of attack, got a big gain out of it.
And there's the opposing quarterback, Nolan Fairley, that saves the touchdown, as that goes for a first down all the way to the 11 on a 44-yard gain. Noah keeps it off of right guard, and he'll get maybe a yard to around the 10-yard line. We'll see where they officially mark the football, as Caleb Chapman, among others, on the tackle for Glencoe. Just about 5 minutes into the first quarter in our battle for the belt, as Ohatchee looking for their second win of the season, and for Glencoe, this is their senior night, their final home game, and they're still looking for their first region win of the season. So the second down, as here's the pitch going to Baswell, as he'll try and turn the corner and breaks out a one tackle. Check that, Jones, and he'll get a good gain shy of the first down, but that's going to set up a 3rd and short, Paul.
Yep, same play they just ran earlier, speed option to the right this time.
And there you see a good block by Tyler Waters, the fullback, to be able to help Jones get, we'll call it 7 yards, and it'll be 3rd and a short 3 to go. As Ohatchee getting closer to the goal line, looking to get the first points of the ball game. So 3rd down, a couple of yards to go, as Noah gets the snap and plunges right up the middle. And that's looks like it's going to be a little bit shy of the first down. Depends on where they spot the football. A solid job so far, Paul, especially in the middle of the defensive line for Glencoe, of bottling up kind of that middle of the running game for Ohatchee.
Right, they did a good job reading, pulling linemen, coming up, filling their holes that they're responsible for, stopping it, to really no gain on anything up the middle.
So 4th down and 1. They'll spot the football officially at the 5-yard line, as Ohatchee going for it. Noah up the middle, gets some good blocking as he'll bounce it to the near side, and he'll get in for the touchdown. So a 5-yard touchdown run by Bryce Noah. Had 2 touchdowns last week, his first of the night, to put Ohatchee on the board first.
Yeah, again, it was just a straight lead, quarterback lead play in the middle. He just bounced. They did a good job stopping him there, but he bounced out. I believe they got more speed than Glencoe. They mainly stay outside running.
And you talked about it, Paul. Glencoe bottled up that quarterback keeper up the middle, but Noah bounced it to the near side and was able to get it to the end zone, as Howell will boot the extra point through to make it 7-0. We'll take this time out here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week in our battle for the belt.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Ohatchee 7, and Glencoe nothing, as our first quarter of the FNN Game of the Week is presented by Snow Timber, for the finest in timberland management. Give Chad Snow and Snow Timber in Ohatchee a contact, as harvesting, planting, land management, and more. When trees are involved, Snow Timber is your go-to choice. Give them a call at 256-453-3616 and ask for Chad. So it'll be the Indians set to kick things off, as Devin Howell will kick it deep. As it'll be, looks like a short kick,
you better get
a free ball, and let's see who has it. Looks as if that a good look that time, as Glencoe is able to come up with that football on the loose ball. As there you saw the quarterback, Nolan Fairley, alert enough to be able to fall on that football and give the possession to Glencoe.
Very fortunate there. I mean, they were fixing to get that ball again.
Yeah, nice little kind of pooch kick by Ohatchee's Devin Howell, as Fairley will bring his offense back out onto the field. Glencoe struggled mightily on their first possession, going backwards as far as their 3 and out on the opening offense possession for them tonight. We'll take a look at the rest of the Ohatchee defense here after this first down play, as it'll be Fairley trying to keep it off the right side as he gets bottled up and taken down in the backfield for a loss. There you see Tristan Kiker leading the way on the tackle for Ohatchee, as the linebackers will be Jesse Baswell and Devin Howell, as well as Tyler Waters and Chris Ferguson, the linebacking core. Bryce Noah and Colby Hester, the corners. Nate Jones and Jake Roberson will be the safeties. So that run loses 5 yards for Noah Fairley. Second down and 15. As the snap and the play action and the fade pattern down the near side, and that is almost caught but incomplete. A nice throw that time, as Aaron Mann just wasn't able to come up with that football.
Yeah, just overthrew him just a little bit on fly route down the sideline here.
I'll tell you what, that was an outstanding throw on the first throw of the ball game for Noah Fairley.
Third down, Glencoe.
And yeah, just about a half step or so away from catching that football was the wingback Aaron Mann. So it'll be third down now and 15 from their own 20 for Glencoe. And we'll have a stoppage in play for another timeout for Glencoe. And we'll take the timeout with them with 4:24 left in the opening quarter. Ohatchee 7 and Glencoe nothing.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Ohatchee 7, Glencoe nothing. Coming out of the timeout, as Glencoe has already used 2 first quarter timeouts. They have just 1 remaining the rest of the first half. As third down and 15. And this will be the straight ahead give going to Austin Mann, and he'll go right into the middle of the Ohatchee defense, who had that bottled up. And actually a loss of about a couple of yards, as there you see at the bottom of the pile, Kiker and Chris Ferguson, one of the 2 players that we had on the FNN Coaches Show this past Tuesday night, which, by the way, we'll have another FNN Coaches Show on Tuesday from Struts in Oxford. So no gain, as fourth down, as Connor Montgomery back out to punt. And once again, to return the punt will be Colby Hester for Ohatchee. That's not a bad punt that time by Montgomery, as it'll get a modest roll for Glencoe, as it'll go across midfield to about the 47-yard line, where it'll be stopped there. So first down and 10 coming up for Ohatchee, as they've been able to dominate defensively and they were able to use a 44-yard run by Nate Jones to set up a Bryce Noah 5-yard touchdown run on 4th down and 1.
Yeah, I believe Ohatchee's got the edge on team speed. I look for them to maybe come back and stay outside with it. They've got good yardage running outside against this Glencoe defense.
Noah shotgun as Howell gets the jet sweep carry, trying to turn the corner near side. And good patience with a flag on the play as he'll advance the football to the 43-yard line. But, Paul, I think from where that flag was thrown, that play is going to come on back.
Yeah, they got a holding call out here out on the perimeter there.
There is a flag on the play.
Our referee for tonight in Keith Whitmire signals the holding call. Going to be a spot foul that'll invoke actually our first penalty at the ball game for either team. Our first penalty with 3:24 remaining in the first quarter.
Block in the back. Offense. 10 yards, spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
And there you hear Keith Whitmire, our referee for tonight. The 2022 season of the FNN Game of the Week is sponsored by Alabama's conservative Republican leader, Congressman Mike Rogers. First quarter brought to you by Snow Timber. As it'll be a first down and 13. As the play action for Noah, he'll fire with a wide open receiver, and that's caught by Howell as he could go the distance and will for the touchdown. They misfired on the first try. This time a second chance, and they connect.
Yeah, they came back to the same route. Little play action pass over the top. Good throw and catch. Once he catches the ball, you can see he's got more speed than number 4 there for Glencoe and just simply outruns it to the goal line.
Yeah, and there you saw Devin Howell just outrace his defender who was outside the picture. As the extra point coming up. And by the way, Baylor Langdale, one of the seniors on the coverage, as here is the PAT kick up and good for Devin Howell as we'll take the timeout with them. 14-0 Ohatchee leading here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week, the battle for the belt. It was the combination of Bryce Noah and Devin Howell hooking up for a 57-yard touchdown pass to put Ohatchee on top 14-0 here in our FNN High School Football Game of the Week. Our battle for the belt for the 2022 season. As the winner of this game will receive our FNN belt for their winning efforts tonight. It looks as if Bryce Noah and the rest of his squad, Noah about ready to kick things off and does so, and a short kick that's fielded by Glencoe inside the 40, their own 40 that is, where they'll take over first down and 10. Snow Timber, our first quarter sponsor tonight, and also would like to remind you that every week of our Game of the Week this season, it's sponsored by FNN Bank, home of the high school spirit card. Service, solutions, and strength isn't just a tagline. At FNN Bank, we're here for you. So Glencoe trying to find something on offense as they've gone 3 and out in their first 2 possessions. A little over 3 minutes left in the opening quarter as Austin Mann gets slammed down in the backfield for a loss. And a busy effort so far from the defensive tackle spot for Tristan Kiker, as there you see him leading the way on that TFL.
Great job filling the hole there by the linebacker.
Yeah, Ohatchee has been very aggressive so far tonight as far as just their defense overall is concerned, but have played very well up front. So no gain for Austin Mann as second down, as under center, and a big hole that time for, looks like the wingback Aaron Man, as that's by far the best play that we've seen from Glencoe. There you see kind of that old school full house backfield, and Aaron Man finding a huge hole up the middle for the first down.
Like a straight T formation. Hadn't seen that in a while.
Yeah, even at the high school level, Paul, you don't see that very much anymore.
No, you don't.
So it looks as if it works one time, Scott Martin's going to try that again. So T formation, full house backfield. As the ball near midfield, as this will be a straight quarterback's keeper, a quarterback sneak for Nolan Fairley, as he'll advance the football to midfield. So maybe that first down run of about a dozen yards for Aaron Mann will start to light a fire under the Glencoe offense. So far, a couple of touchdowns for quarterback Bryce Noah for Ohatchee, a 5-yard touchdown run, and throw in a 57-yard touchdown pass to Devin Howell. So they'll say a gain of 3 for Noah Fairley, as the straight ahead give to the wingback Aaron Mann, and this time he gets stood up right as he gets to the line of scrimmage. So you'll have a couple more tacklers assist that time for the Ohatchee Indians, as we're approaching 1 minute left in the opening quarter. Elijah Engel helping out on the tackle, by the way, for Ohatchee on that last run by Aaron Mann. I'll say 1 yard for Aaron Mann on the second down run, so 3rd down and 6. Called a short 6. Line to reach for the first down is the Ohatchee 43. Here's the give for Alston Mann as he gets tripped up. May have been by his own blocker that time. As there you see Gaskin not exactly happy with that last play as it goes for no gain and 4th down coming up for the Yellow Jackets.
Hey, maybe at the point are they going to go for it?
Well, they'll have some time to decide because the play clock, is 3 seconds more than the game clock. So it looks as if that Scott Morton and Glencoe will just let the first quarter clock run out. So already a couple of touchdowns on the board. One throwing and one on the ground for Bryce Noah as we're through 1 quarter of play here in Glencoe. The Ohatchee Indians 14 and the Glencoe Yellow Jackets nothing. Our battle for the belt here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Did you hear that? The State Farm thing. Dun-da-da-da-da. I think we're in a commercial. Jake from State Farm, I knew it.
Don't worry, Chris. Things are gonna go surprisingly great.
Dad, look!
Ooh, see? Surprising. Just like State Farm's surprisingly great rates.
I didn't even record.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Second quarter begins with a short Connor Montgomery punt that's fielded at the 26-yard line. I should say downed at the 26-yard line as we begin the second quarter. Our battle for the belt here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. And right now it's been all Ohatchee, up 14-0 thanks to the dominant defense, but also 2 touchdowns by quarterback Bryce Noah. Here's Noah keeping and gets a little bit of blocking to around the 30-yard line, where it'll be a second down coming up as there you see Garrett Gaskin in the area of the tackle for Glencoe. Our second quarter presented by Glencoe Hoax Bluff Funeral Home, as well as Anniston Memorial Funeral Home. I'll tell you more about them throughout this second quarter. Our battle for the belt, as the winner will receive our belt for their trophy case after tonight's ball game. And here's the give to Jones as he'll get stood up around the line of scrimmage as Nate Jones still trying to fight for yards as Glencoe doing a nice job the last couple of plays of containing at least the off-tackle runs, Paul, from Ohatchee.
Yeah, Ohatchee needs to get back running outside, I feel. They're having a lot of success there. And Glencoe's doing a good job up the middle from big gap to big gap, controlling those gaps.
Really, it's been the big play that's been able to propel Ohatchee to the 14-0 lead. A 44-yard run by Nate Jones to set up a 5-yard touchdown run by Bryce Noah. As here's a play action and the throw into coverage, and that will be incomplete. And that should have been intercepted for Glencoe.
Very fortunate there for Ohatchee.
In fact, very lucky indeed, Paul, for Ohatchee to be able to maintain a 4th down possession. As there you see Noah making his first big mistake of the night, as Connor Montgomery, I'm sure, would like to have that little dead duck back.
Right. Hard for a right-handed quarterback rolling to his left and throw, and you got to square those shoulders up, and wasn't really able to do that, get a whole lot on the football. Very fortunate it wasn't picked off.
Jesse Baswell back to punt. You'll have the dual returners for Glencoe. As Aaron Mann will watch the ball go over his head inside the 25, and he's going to have to get away from the football, and does so as the ball rolls to the 15-yard line. So not necessarily the best decision-making that time by Aaron Mann, as that ball, and one of the assistant coaches is kind of reminding him of that as far as letting the ball go over his head an extra 10 to 15 yards. So 1st down and 10 for Glencoe. Still have their worst starting field position of the night from their own 15. Our second quarter presented by Glencoe Hoax Bluff Funeral Home and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home. Our battle for the belt, as Ohatchee having the 2-score advantage. As rolling will be Fairley, as he'll toss it to Gaskin, complete, as he makes the nice grab with those soft hands and advances for a 7-yard pass completion as Devin Howell on the tackle for Ohatchee.
Get a little sprint pass flood route to the right side. Hit the back out of the backfield on a little arrow route.
Garrett Gaskin making his first reception of the night. Officially a gain of 6, so 2nd down and 4. They'll spot the ball at the 21-yard line, their own for Glencoe. So heavy set to the far side, as rolling will be Fairley, as he'll have to throw it away as it gets picked off, deflected and picked off by Chris Ferguson, as he'll take it to the house for the touchdown. A second look at that pick 6 for Ohatchee, as the Indians defense provides the pressure and comes up with the interception and takes it in for 6. So you had 2 players that time lead on the pressure, and one of our players we had Tuesday night, Chris Ferguson, from his linebacking spot, the middle linebacker, comes up with the pick 6 from 12 yards out. So the PAT coming up for the Indians. It'll be their 3rd point after try of the night.
I guess that was going to be a screen pass.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a rollout pass, kind of that little.
The play was over. Unsportsmanlike. Ohatchee. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Touchdown is good.
So there you hear an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, a little too much celebrating in the end zone off to our right after the interception. So here's Caden Mann coming on for the point after, as he's already made a couple, and that kick is off to the right. No good. And we'll take the timeout here. New score, Ohatchee 20 and Glencoe nothing. On our FNN Game of the Week in our battle for the belt.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
Ohatchee 20 and Glencoe nothing here in the second quarter. 9:35 to go in the opening half on our FNN Game of the Week, the battle for the belt for the 2022 season. James Hardy, Paul Farlow filling in for Coach Eddie Bullock, who is on special assignment tonight. So Ohatchee getting ready to kick off one more time, as the 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty following the 12-yard interception return for a touchdown by Ferguson. Chris Ferguson, the linebacker for Ohatchee, will put the kickoff spot back at the 25-yard line. And there's the squib kick that'll be fielded at the 42, and a full head of steam that time, right up to midfield, as Aaron Mann just came up with a full head of steam and ran into a brick wall that time by one of the Ohatchee special teams players. But in any case, it'll be outstanding field position to start off this drive for Glencoe that could definitely use some more positive plays and definitely in dire need of a touchdown themselves.
Yeah, they've been behind the chains most every possession, other than they got 6 on that first pass play a while ago.
Glencoe, Hoax Bluff Funeral Home, and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home present our second quarter. As here's the straight ahead give right up the middle. So the fullback, I think Gaskin that time was on the call. And there he's checked that, the running back, the primary running back, in fact, Austin Mann, going right up the middle and actually getting a fairly decent gain on first down of about 4 yards to the 45-yard line. Also a big thank you to Mayor Baswell and the council from the town of Ohatchee for their support of our Game of the Week this week. So Austin Mann gets a 4-yard gain on first down. Football at the 45-yard line. As we'll have a substitution coming off the bench in Colby Bishop, the junior tight end for Glencoe. They'll get, due to the stoppage on the field, they'll get a fresh 25 on the play clock. Could use a first down and really a whole lot more, as Fairley will try and keep it up the middle, and that's not going to go very far either. So I tried to keep it right up the middle, and he ran right into the teeth of the defensive line. Dylan Allen, Tristan Kiker, among others. For pre-planning or in your time of need, you need professionals. For traditional funerals, memorial and graveside services, cremation options, and military honors for our U.S. veterans, count on Glencoe Hoax Bluff Funeral Home at 1901 Piedmont Cutoff Highway and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home at 3865 U.S. Highway 431 in Anniston. On the third down, as it'll be at least close to, depending on the spot, it'll be Fairley, the quarterback, trying to sweep off the near side, and he may be a yard shy of the first down as we're approaching 7:20 remaining in the opening half. So obviously down 3 scores. Glencoe will go for it on 4th and short. 4th and 1 from the 40-yard line. That's the 40-yard line of Ohatchee, as we'll have a stoppage in play. In fact, a timeout on the field. Timeout, first one of the night for Ohatchee, and we'll take the timeout with them here in the battle for the belt on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Griffin Laser Engraving in Lincoln is your authorized local dealer for personalized Yeti products. Get your Yeti customized for your team, a business, or a special event. Your color, graphics, even photos. At Griffin Laser Engraving, we make it the way you want it. Order just one or hundreds, and you'll find a full line of Yeti coolers and accessories on hand, even the hard-to-find items. Nationally recognized, but right here at home in Lincoln for quality awards, trophies, powder coating, and personalized Yeti items, Griffin Laser Engraving.
The 2022 season of the FNN Game of the Week is sponsored by the Calhoun County Commission. If you're looking for the perfect place to live or start a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Fairleigh goes under center, 4th and short as Austin Mann with the quick hitter up the middle as he'll move the chains forward for the Glencoe first down. Needed the 40 and got the football to the 37-yard line for a gain of 4, and that'll keep the Yellow Jackets' drive alive. So Glencoe still looking for their first points of the night as they come in at 2-5 overall, 0-5 in region play. Ohatchee just 1-7, but they are 1-4 and still mathematically alive for the Class 3A playoffs. So 1st and 10 as the T formation set and play action as the throw is knocked away, incomplete. So there you see the intended receiver, number 8 in Christian Prater, the tight end, as that pass a little too far out in front ahead of Prater, incomplete. Looked like a nice job by Baswell to knock that ball away, setting up a 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, they only had a one-man route there, and Ohatchee was all over it.
So 2nd down and 10 as that'll stop the clock with 6:25 remaining until halftime. A full house backfield once again. As this will be the keeper to the near side for Fairleigh as he'll get wrapped up on a nice open field solo tackle that time by the running back as well as the strong safety Nate Jones. And there you see outstanding tackling as Fairleigh tried to cut it against the grain, but Jones was able still to get himself in position, Paul, to make a solid tackle.
Right, looked like he's trying to run a little option play there. They ran it a while ago with a little success there.
So this will be a 3rd down and 8 yards to go. Line to reach for the first down will be the Ohatchee 27. Fairleigh going under center. As who will give it to Austin Mann, who won't get very much running room, very little at all, as there's Baswell helping out on the tackle for Ohatchee. Maybe a 1-yard gain that time. So it's going to be 4th down from the Ohatchee just inside the 35-yard line, so Glencoe will go for it on 4th down. A rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown for Bryce Noah, as well as a Caleb Ferguson 12-yard pick 6, the scoring tonight for the Indians of Ohatchee. So line to reach for the first down will be the 27 for Glencoe. Play clock down to 3. Dropping back to throw will be Fairleigh as he's under pressure, trying to escape, and now throws, has a receiver, and it's caught for the first down. And there's, looks like the big wingback tight end and Carter Cook, the tight end that got open and preserves the possession for the first down. Let's take a look at this play, Paul, as far as outstanding scrambling from Fairleigh, the quarterback, finding the receiver and having the presence to get it to him for the first down.
Yeah, pretty good scramble. The receiver came back and met the ball, too. Ohatchee did a good job scraping on the quarterback. Good throw. He was wide open.
Yeah, almost nobody in the screen for Ohatchee as they'll spot the football inside the 20 around the 18. That's a 17-yard pass completion as the straight-ahead give goes for very little that time. Might have even been that keeper in fact, was the keeper for Fairleigh, as it'll be a 2nd down and long. 2022 season, the FNN Game of the Week is sponsored by Young Oil Grub Mart, home of the 99-cent bag of ice and everybody's favorite, the popcorn bucket. Buy yours and get free popcorn refills for an entire year. So a couple of yards on first down for Fairleigh. A quick hitter up the middle for Aaron Mann, the wingback. As he'll get some decent yards. Looks like about another couple, maybe 3 yards as we approach 3.5 minutes left until halftime. So far, it's been all Ohatchee on the scoreboard, but Glencoe in scoring territory as they are in the red zone. So it'll be third down. It'll be a third and about medium. So we'll call it 5 yards to go from the 15. Line to reach the 10 for the first down. And here's the option and the pitch to Aaron Mann as Ohatchee ready for it. As Chris Ferguson along with Nate Jones and others leading the way on the tackle. A second look. As there you see Mann getting the pitch, but good assignment football on defense by Ohatchee to be able to read and stop the option play, Paul.
Yeah, it looked like he might have had to. I don't know if it's called to pitch it or if he's reading it, because the diveback did have a chance to bust a little hole right there, but he chose to pull it and pitch it.
Looks as if that Glencoe going to send their kicker out for a field goal attempt. Gavin Bray for his first field goal attempt of the night, and a lineman out late as far as special teams protection, so that's going to force Scott Martin to use his final timeout of the first half. And we'll take the timeout with them with 2:16 left until halftime. Still Ohatchee 20 and Glencoe nothing.
At Glencoe Hooks Bluff Funeral Home and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home, we see our community as extended family.
Hello, I'm Mark Box. My wife Holly and I would like to thank the families that we have had the honor to serve. We see our community as our extended family. That's why we work so hard to invest in our community and the families that call it home. At Glencoe Hooks Bluff Funeral Home and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home, you'll find services that are tailored to meet your needs, whatever those may be.
Piedmont Cutoff Highway in Glencoe and Highway 431 in Anniston. Our family serving your family.
Two minutes, 16 seconds left until halftime as Gavin Bray comes out for a 38-yard field goal attempt. Football toward the near hash mark. Snap is good, hold is good, and the kick has the distance. Does it have the accuracy? No, it doesn't, as it's off to the right. No good. Plenty of distance that time, but just sails off to the right. Looked pretty good initially. But, yeah, just pushed it off toward the right. So Glencoe is held at bay on the scoreboard as Ohatchee will come out with 2:09 left until halftime, leading 20-0 in our battle for the belt. James Hardy and Paul Farlow with you as Glencoe Hoax Bluff Funeral Home as well as Anniston Memorial Funeral Home teaming up to present our second quarter. Here's the play-action rollout, and the dump down pass is complete. Looks like to Howell as he'll get close to the first down. So nice little play-action pass that time by Bryce Noah as he found his near side receiver, the short receiver, for a solid 9-yard gain. So far, a rock-solid night for Bryce Noah. Missed his first pass of the night and also had a pass that he threw up for grabs that should have been intercepted earlier. As here's the play action, and the throw is incomplete as that goes right through the hands of Devin Howell. They've been running this play. I think this is the third time they've run that corner route, Paul, and that was open for the taking.
Yeah, it's been open every time they called it, too. He caught that quarterback looking in the backfield back there, that back coming out, eye candy holding him right there. And the guy running that corner route got behind him. Very fortunate there. Ball wasn't caught for a touchdown.
Yeah, fortunate indeed, Paul. So 2nd down and 10. Looks as if that Ohatchee going with the 2-minute drill. As we're approaching 1.5 minutes to go, the RPO pass is high and incomplete.
Noah's pass.
Looked like Hester, indeed Hester that time, the intended receiver. Colby Hester, number 14, was the punt returner. And that was the first time that we've seen Hester get an attempted reception that time. Pass was high.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Did you know Kona Ice can help you fundraise for your school? It's true. It's quick, it's easy, and the kids absolutely love having Kona Ice. We'll let you in on a little secret. Teachers love it too. So, how can we help you fundraise this year? It's quick, it's easy, the kids love it, and teachers love it too.
Bryce Noah kicks it off for Ohatchee as Glencoe fielding. Noah Fairley gets wrapped up after going laterally, picking it up from about the 25 and gets taken down at the 26-yard line. 48 seconds remaining in the opening half as it's been all Ohatchee in our battle for the belt, up 28-0 as you, the fan out there, gave Ohatchee and Glencoe as our matchup this season for the battle for the belt. Our second quarter presented to you by Glencoe Hoax Bluff Funeral Home and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home. Here's the shotgun snap as Fairley with some running room as he'll have a first down and a whole lot more as an excellent open field tackle that time by Bryce Noah playing a safety spot, but not after. We'll call that a 17-yard carry for Fairley and a first down. No timeouts remaining for Glencoe here in the first half. Football from the 43-yard line as that game clock at 30 seconds until halftime. Fairley looking at the wristband for the play. And here comes the underneath give to Aaron Mann as he'll get stuffed for a loss. Baswell and Jones combining on the tackle. And looks as if that is going to be the final play of our first half. The town of Glencoe, a game sponsor of ours this week. Big thanks to Mayor Baswell and the council from the town of Ohatchee for their support of the game of the week this week. And so we are at halftime here in Glencoe as the Indians of Ohatchee lead 28-0 over Glencoe in our battle for the belt here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Did you know Kona Ice can help you fundraise for your school? It's true. It's quick, it's easy, and the kids absolutely love having Kona Ice. We'll let you in on a little secret. Teachers love it too. So, how can we help you fundraise this year? It's quick, it's easy, the kids love it, and teachers love it too.
Did you hear that? The State Farm thing. Dun-da-da-da-da. I think we're in a commercial. Jake from State Farm, I knew it.
Don't worry, Chris. Things are gonna go surprisingly great.
Dad, look!
Chris!
Ooh, see? Surprising. Just like State Farm's surprisingly great rates.
I didn't even record.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
At Glencoe Hooks Bluff Funeral Home and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home, we see our community as extended family.
Hello, I'm Mark Box. My wife Holly and I would like to thank the families that we have had the honor to serve. We see our community as our extended family. That's why we work so hard to invest in our community and the families that call it home. At Glencoe Hooks Bluff Funeral Home and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home, you'll find services that are tailored to meet your needs, whatever those may be.
Piedmont Cutoff Highway in Glencoe and Highway 431 in Anniston. Our family serving your family.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Ohatchee leads Glencoe 28-0 in our Battle of the Belt, the FNN Game of the Week, as our halftime coverage presented, as always, by the Calhoun County Commission. Be sure to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer as the Ohatchee Marching Band performs at halftime.
Was that your kid or was that a robber?
Ohatchee Marching Band performing here at halftime. We're at Wilson Darnell Field for our Battle of the Belt, our FNN game of the week this week, as we'll take the halftime timeout with the Ohatchee Indians leading the Glencoe Yellow Jackets 28-0.
Serving Calhoun County for over 30 years, Crawford Office Supply offers selection, convenience, and low prices. Choose from a wide variety of office furnishings featured in their huge showroom. With savings of 50 to 70% off scratch and dent items. You'll find it all from pens and paper to janitorial supplies at Crawford Office Supply, including on-site printing, all backed up by unmatched personal service and free delivery to local business. Crawford Office Supply, 301 South Layton Avenue in Anniston. Remember, buy local, it matters.
Did you hear that? The State Farm thing. Dun-da-da-da-da. I think we're in a commercial. Jake from State Farm, I knew it.
Don't worry, Chris. Things are gonna go surprisingly great.
Dad, look!
Chris!
Ooh, see? Surprising. Just like State Farm's surprisingly great rates.
I didn't even record.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
$28-0. Ohatchee leads Glencoe at halftime. This is our week for the Battle of the Belt. And, of course, our FNN game of the week, as we're just a few weeks away from reaching the finish line of the regular season and starting postseason play. Our halftime coverage presented, as always, by the Calhoun County Commission, who remind you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer as the Glencoe Marching Band performs at halftime. The Glencoe Marching Band performing at halftime. Outstanding performances by both of our marching bands this week here at halftime, as the Calhoun County Commission reminds you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. We'll take this time out, and we'll set up the third quarter in the second half of our battle for the belt. So Ohatchee leads 28-0 over Glencoe at halftime here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Aniston Auto Trim and Body Shop is your best stop for full-service auto body repair, including all body work and professional painting. They also specialize in complete classic car restoration. When you have an accident, you want it back the way it was, and that's what you get with the team at Aniston Auto Trim. The same is true if you're ready to restore your dream car or a timeless family classic. They work with all major insurance companies and provide free estimates for every job. Come by today and see Stacy Jennings and the gang at Aniston Auto Trim and Body Shop, just up the hill off Quintard on Greenbrier Deer Road.
At Glencoe Hucks Plus Funeral Home and Aniston Memorial Funeral Home, we see our community as extended family.
Hello, I'm Mark Box. My wife Holly and I would like to thank the families that we have had the honor to serve. We see our community as our extended family. That's why we work so hard to invest in our community and the families that call it home. At Glencoe Hucks Bluff Funeral Home and Aniston Memorial Funeral Home, you'll find services that are tailored to meet your needs, whatever those may be.
Piedmont Cutoff Highway in Glencoe and Highway 431 in Aniston. Our family serving your family.
Step into the offices of J. Britt Middlebrook CPA, where you'll find professional one-on-one service for business and individual clients. In this ever-changing tax and economic climate, you can count on receiving the expert advice you need. J. Britt Middlebrook works hard to provide every client what they need to meet all deadlines. Tax season will be here soon. For all your accounting service needs, call or stop by at 1913 Berry Street in Oxford. That's J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA.
Yeah, it's the game of the week on FNN.
Our battle from the belt here in Glencoe from Wilson Darnell Field. And through the first 24 minutes, it's been all Ohatchee with 4 touchdowns, as they've dominated this ball game, leading 28-0, as it'll be Glencoe receiving the opening kickoff to begin the second half. And so far, Paul, it's been, well, really all Ohatchee, but solid performances offensively. First off, from the quarterback, Bryce Noah, a couple of big runs for Nate Jones, who's approached, I think, eclipsed unofficially the 100-yard mark, and Devin Howells had both a rushing and a receiving touchdown as well. But you look at the defense, and they've been, in my mind, the most dominant for Ohatchee tonight.
They don't have a lot of, offense going in the first half. Ohatchee did a good job with their run fits, keep not giving up any big play. They had 1-2 little, maybe on that midline dive, they hit it a couple times. But like I said earlier in the game, Ohatchee, I believe he's got just a tad bit more team speed than Glencoe does. And they're able to get outside, and that's where the big runs come from.
Well, we mentioned in our countdown to kickoff as well, as far as Ohatchee being at full health really for the first time this season, and coming off of their first win of the season last week against a solid Hoax Bluff squad. We are seeing tonight Ohatchee playing with a lot of confidence on the field.
Yeah, they play with a lot of, it's amazing what a win will do for you, and you get all your players back for maybe the first time all year long. It makes a difference when you have all your studs out there playing and a little confidence on the after the win last week against Hoax Bluff.
Looking at some of the other Class 3A Region 6 games tonight, you have Sylvania going to hosting Hoax Bluff, rather. Also, Piedmont hosting for their senior night Geraldine, the last home game regular season-wise for the illustrious career of quarterback Jack Hayes, and Plainview traveling not too far from where we're at to Westbrook Christian in Rainbow City. So looking also at the standings as far as Class 3A Region 6, Ohatchee at 1-4 in region play, but they're just one game behind both Westbrook Christian and Plainview, who Ohatchee will close out the regular season next week with. Right now, you'd need, if you're Ohatchee, both Hoax Bluff and Westbrook Christian to basically lose out, at least right now. Due to the win last week, Ohatchee would have the tiebreaker head-to-head against Hoax Bluff, but they would need to finish a game ahead of Westbrook Christian and also finish in a tie with Plainview if Ohatchee does want to sneak into the Class 3A playoff picture. So next week for Ohatchee, as we mentioned, will be their final game of the regular season at home, also their final region game against Plainview. And tonight is the final home game of the season for the Glencoe Yellow Jackets, as they'll finish their regular season, and in fact their 2022 season, on the road at Geraldine next week for the region finale, and then at West End Walnut Grove in a couple of weeks. And there you see our game of the week for next week, as we will make the trip over to Ragland for Spring Garden and Ragland, a 1A Region 6 title on the line next week. So we're about ready to start the second half, as we'll go ahead and tell you that our third quarter brought to you by Ohatchee Hardware, your heater headquarters. As the weather's starting to get a little cooler now when it comes to portable heaters for those cold winter nights ahead. If they don't have it, well, don't worry about it. Stop in today for the area's biggest selection of heaters on Highway 77 in Ohatchee. And the really cold weather, folks, will be here indeed before you know it. So it'll be Bryce Noah set to kick off. And the dribbler squib kick, rolling around and finally falling on it is Fairley for Glencoe, as the Yellow Jackets will begin the second half with the football from their own 31-yard line. So tough going offensively. As a handful of first downs, really no consistency as far as offensively for the Yellow Jackets tonight due to that aggressive swarming defense for Ohatchee. So Noah Fairley will come back out and begin things here in the third quarter. So they'll spot the football at the 32, and this will be a counter give, and that's not going to go for very much either to begin the second half, as Austin Mann will run into the left side of the defensive front for Ohatchee. Minimal yards as we just begin the second half. So second down and 9 yards to go. Ohatchee Hardware presents our third quarter. Shotgun for Fairley. Underneath give goes to Aaron Mann, trying to go forward and gets a little bit of a hold for about a couple to the 35-yard line. Both of these coaches, Paul, in their first full seasons with their respective programs, a lot of familiarity with each other, especially with Chris Findley being a longtime assistant for Scott Martin as part of that decade-long run for Scott Martin down at Ohatchee. And Scott Martin laid a lot of that foundation to some of the recent success that we've seen for Ohatchee, including several playoff runs over the last few years.
Yeah, he done a real good job at Ohatchee, and you watching a mirror image of each other, really.
So Fairley will take it off the right side for a couple of yards on third down, so that'll set up a fourth down and long situation as Connor Montgomery comes in to punt. So it'll be a 3 and out, another 3 and out for this Indians defense. As there you see Montgomery set to punt. And it'll be Colby Hester awaiting the return, standing at his own 38-yard line. Ohatchee, as of now, on their way to getting the belt for the season, as Montgomery does get it off as it goes into the Glencoe sideline near boundary across midfield. And I think they're going to spot it around the 44-yard line, and that came close to our side judge at the near side as well. So they've played about a couple of minutes and change here in the third quarter, as the first time for Ohatchee's offense to come out onto the field for the third quarter. Be sure to join us for a recap of this game, as well as a recap of games across the area and a preview of the final region week of the season coming up on the FNN Coaches Show from Struts Wings in Oxford on Tuesday, as we have some early movement, looks like initiated by the Glencoe defense. We'll find out from our AHSAA officiating crew.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense, 5 yards, still first down.
Keith Whitmire telling us it is indeed an offside on Glencoe. So it'll be a 1st and 5 now. As there you see the Ohatchee offense shifting as Jones going in motion, as this will be the counter keeper now for the quarterback Noah, as he'll get 4 yards closer to the first down. So second down, maybe a half yard to go on some solid blocking that time. And I wouldn't imagine, Paul, that we're probably going to see much more, if any more, throwing for Ohatchee the rest of this game.
No, unless they feel like they've got to see him up top creeping up and maybe hit him over the top again like they have already.
So they do go ahead and give him the first down as Noah gets enough for the first down. As here's the pitch to Jones as he'll get out of one tackle, escapes another and dives toward the first down around the Glencoe 36-yard line. That's a 9-yard gain, and outstanding effort on some determined running for running back Nate Jones.
Yeah, again, that little quick pitch play, they've had a lot of success on that all night long.
Yeah, in fact, Jones has broken off a 44 and a 51-yard run on that pitch play. So he's over 100 yards tonight. As this will be once again the gift to Jones. Didn't need much, needed just a yard and got about 3 across the 35 to the 34 for the first down. So the drive remains alive. As I had a chance to talk with Scott Martin earlier this week and talking about his young protege in Chris Findlay. In fact, mentioned just the youthfulness and the energy that Findlay provides as far as leading the program now for Ohatchee, and a very solid fundamental squad when it comes to the Ohatchee football program. Here's the throw down the middle, and that is incomplete. As you saw, Baswell all alone as the pass short and out in front of him, incomplete.
Yeah, he had him open. He just step into his throw. I mean, that's a touchdown.
Yeah, a little inconsistent passing tonight that we've seen from Bryce Noah. We have seen a 57-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter, but he has left 3 potential touchdown passes on the field so far.
Right.
But it hasn't hurt Ohatchee tonight, up 28-0. There's Devin Howell getting the call off the left side as Glencoe does a fairly decent job containing that jet sweep play, as that'll go inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line. So good pursuit that time by the Yellow Jackets, as we're going to have a substitution defensively for Scott Martin's squad as Taylor Westcott comes back into the ball game. This is senior night for Glencoe as they honored their 11 seniors prior to tonight's kickoff. Now we're battle for the belt as well, as we approach 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Here's the keeper for Noah, trying to turn the corner. Breaks out of one tackle at the 25, and he'll get the first down into the red zone as they'll mark him out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Ohatchee Hardware presents our third quarter. As there you saw determined running from Bryce Noah, the quarterback.
Yeah, just a quarterback sweep to the outside, and good running from the young man.
That gain will be a 15 yards and move the sticks. So the first red zone opportunity of the half, this third quarter for Ohatchee, as Howell gets the little pop pass as he'll turn the corner, breaks out of a couple of tackles, and he'll go toward the end zone, and he is just shy of the goal line at the 1-yard line. There's that second look as there he goes, Devin Howell bouncing off the tacklers as he finally gets dragged down. Looks like by Colby checked at Aiden Johnson, the cornerback. So it'll be first and goal from the 1-yard line, as it's already 28-0 in favor of Ohatchee, looking to basically put the icing on top of the cake. First and goal as the sneak toward the end zone, and it's in for the touchdown for the quarterback, Bryce Noah. So Noah, his second rushing touchdown, third total touchdown for the night, as that'll make it now 34-0 in favor of Ohatchee.
This is a straight quarterback lead play. Had the 2 big backs in front of him.
Yeah, nothing fancy, but more than gets the job done for the Ohatchee Indians. Here comes man for the PAT. That's on the way, and that is good, and we'll take the timeout. 35-0, about halfway through the third quarter. Ohatchee leading here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week in the battle for the belt. 2022 season with the FNN Game of the Week, sponsored by Alabama's conservative Republican leader, Congressman Mike Rogers. Ohatchee 35 and Glencoe nothing, as Ohatchee a lot closer to getting the belt for this 2022 season. This is our battle for the belt game as voted on you, the fan. Here's the squib kick that'll be fielded around the 25-yard line. It looks like Montgomery will advance it across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. We had a very nice visit with Ohatchee head coach Chris Findley in his first full season. Took over early in 2021 and helped lead this Indians football program and really kind of got their season straightened out last year after all the chaos that occurred in about mid to late September last year. They were able to get that upset win to Piedmont, a game which we had late September, early October of last year, and get to the second round of the playoffs. Here's Fairley scrambling, and he'll throw and finds a receiver complete, and that'll be Austin Mann just in front of us across midfield to move the sticks. And Paul, we've seen a couple of nice scrambles for Fairley so far tonight, including this first down pass completion.
Right, he flushed out of the pocket. Young man coming across field on a drag route, hit him, big gain.
And there you see the free safety, Jake Roberson, who had a fumble recovery in Ohatchee's win last week against Hope's Bluff. So the clock stops at 5:55 left in the third quarter. James Hardy, Paul Farlow with you here from Glencoe, Alabama, Wilson Darnell Field at Glencoe High School, as Fairley will run right into the right side of the Ohatchee defense. There you see Howell along with Waters helping out on the tackle. And we haven't mentioned tonight, this Ohatchee program also took on a lot of losses as far as talent from last year, including that tough, gritty, incredible quarterback in Eli Enos from a season ago, who's now playing in the Southland Conference at Nichols. And there you see, by the way, congratulations to Eric Dye as far as our game picker winner for Week 8 from Woodland with those 650 points. That's offsetting penalties on the last play, so they'll have a redo on that second down play. So under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Ohatchee, with a win, would keep their playoff hopes alive, but they need some help from at least the upper half of Region 6. Here's this give up the middle to Austin Mann, as he'll get across the original line of scrimmage and across midfield to the 48-yard line. You look as far as the playoff picture, and the at least unlikely right now when it comes to the mathematics for Ohatchee. They would need both Westbrook Christian and Hoax Bluff basically to lose out as far as their region games. And right now, Westbrook Christian not helping that cause as they are leading in the second half over Plainview. But certainly, at least tonight and last week, some positive signs as far as Ohatchee's season getting off to a strong finish down the stretch. There's Fairley off of right guard, as he'll get to the 45-yard line of Ohatchee. So Glencoe will have a fourth down and about 6 coming up, with 4.5 minutes or so left in the third quarter. So we've seen a nice team effort, dominant defense from Ohatchee, and then really the production on offense spread across the board. Running back Nate Jones has had over 100 yards. Bryce Noah's had 3 touchdowns. Devin Howell has 3 touchdowns, so a good team effort for the Indians tonight. Here's fourth down as Fairley up the middle, needs the 39, and let's see where they spot the ball. I think that's going to be at the spot where Glencoe and Fairley need to have it to move the sticks for the first down. So it'll depend on that spot. And let's see where they spot that football. And the referee indicates, Kyle Whitmire indicates, it's a Glencoe first down. So a good sign, even though Glencoe on the short end of a 35-0 score right now, Paul, that Scott Martin's team not giving up.
Right, they're trying to keep fighting. That's all you can ask them to do in a situation like this.
There's the snap, and the reverse counter give goes to Aaron Mann, as he'll get maybe a yard to the 39-yard line as Jake Roberson makes a very nice open field tackle. And that's something that Scott Martin told me earlier in the week, that he's been very proud of just the fight that he's seen from his Yellow Jackets this year.
Well, you can live with that as a coach. You know, if the kids go out there and give effort, you know, they might be outmanned in the game here and there, but as long as they keep plugging away, that's all you can ask for them to do.
Approaching 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Fairley on second down will roll under immense pressure, and he has to throw, and that'll be bobbled around, incomplete. So it looked like a blitz that time as Aaron Mann, the intended receiver for Glencoe, as we come to a 3rd down and 9. Ohatchee Hardware reminds you that, hey, the cooler weather is coming, so when it comes to portable heaters for those cold winter nights ahead, if they don't have it, you don't need it. So stop in today for the area's biggest selection of heaters on Highway 77 in Ohatchee. Also, the town of Ohatchee, the council, as well as Mayor Baswell, helping us out with their support of the game of the week this week. Here's the reverse, given a fumble, and still loose as the ball goes out of bounds, and Glencoe very lucky to still have the football, Paul.
Yeah, they're lucky here. They went out of bounds.
Looked like Aaron Mann just dropped the football, and also Bryce Noah had a chance to pick that up. I think he had visions of a scoop and score.
He did. 17 right there did a good job of knocking the ball out of his hands.
Garrett Gaskin helping to preserve the possession as it's 4th and long, as the clock running under 2:40 left in the third quarter. So really this year for Glencoe, for Scott Martin, you're looking at, as far as more than just a rebuilding year, trying to build a culture and build for some long-lasting, long-term, sustained success with his Yellow Jacket program. So 4th down and 13. They need the 28, does Glencoe, for the first down. Here's the play action. Fairley loads up. He's going to throw. He has a receiver, and it's incomplete. Overthrown toward Carter Cook. Flag on the play. So let's see what this flag is about. As there you see Cook had gotten open, but the ball was overthrown, and that flag is right around where the quarterback was.
Roughing the passer, maybe.
After the play was over, personal foul, offense 15 yards from the previous spot. That penalty is declined.
Penalty against Glencoe.
First down.
So the penalty on Glencoe, that's waved off. So Ohatchee will take over. 1st down and 10 as they have a 35-0 lead with just over 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
Oh, no, he said dead ball penalty. I believe you take that, you get 15 yards going the other way. You know, it says it was a dead ball penalty, but either way, they got the ball.
Exactly, and that's all that Ohatchee cares about, is having that ball really running out the clock and being sure that they have the W. 2022 season, the FNN Game of the Week, sponsored by FNN Bank, home of the high school spirit card, where service, solutions, and strength isn't just an ordinary tagline. At FNN Bank, they're here for you. Just a little over 2 minutes left in the third quarter as Noah will give, looks like, the Howell as he'll zigzag his way through the defense for about a 9-yard gain close to midfield. Good blocking, looks like, by the center and the left guard in Harper and McNair, respectively, for Ohatchee, as it'll set up a 2nd down and 1 to go. 3 touchdowns tonight for Devin Howell. 2 on the ground, 1 receiving. Also 3 touchdowns for Noah, as Noah will keep the snap and will take it for the first down and a lot more as he gets into the open field. 10, touchdown Ohatchee. 4 touchdowns tonight for Bryce Noah, and now it makes it a 41-0 lead. But by far the best offensive outing of the season for Ohatchee and Bryce Noah. As there you see him, once he got through the first layer of the defense, he was able to coast it in for 6.
I don't think they even laid a hand on him, did they, Jay?
I think a couple of guys initially got him, but after that, it was Katie bar the door. Man for the extra point, that's good. We'll take the timeout with them, with Ohatchee leading 42-0 here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
Late in the third quarter, 1:36 remaining in the third quarter. As Ohatchee squib kicks it to around the 30-yard line, as Glencoe will advance it across the 35 to around the 37-yard line. As it'll be a first down and 10 coming up, as there you see the wingback Aaron Mann on the return. So Ohatchee still trying to fight and claw out there, as they're down 42-0. With just really a few plays remaining for them here in the third quarter. A dominating effort for the Ohatchee Indians as they lost their first 7 games of the season. They suffered a lot of injuries, played a tough schedule as well, but they've been, including tonight and last week, are starting and at least have been able to kind of turn the corner late in the season. Also, Glencoe victims as far as the injured reserve list is concerned, as there's bouncing off a couple of tacklers. Aaron Mann, as there you see Roberson, Howell, and a few others for Ohatchee helping out. Also, Dylan Allen on the tackle. Third quarter presented to you tonight by Ohatchee Hardware, your heater headquarters for this upcoming winter. Getting you ready with those portable heaters for those cold winter nights ahead. Handoff goes, looks like, to Connor Montgomery getting his first carry as he gets wrapped up in the backfield for a loss.
Yeah, good penetration by Ohatchee, getting in the backfield, really getting the play before it started.
That's been the common theme for Ohatchee, aggressiveness and being able to get that penetration consistently from the start. As we come to the end of the third quarter, the battle for the belt, 12 minutes from awarding a winner of our belt for tonight. So Ohatchee leads 42-0 over Glencoe here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Third down.
Our final 12 minutes in our battle for the belt, our FNN Game of the Week. as the Ohatchee Indians are tearing through the Glencoe Yellow Jackets tonight. A Class 3A Region 6 contest as well, and senior night for Glencoe as Ohatchee leads 42-0. Third down play as it'll be Fairley trying to go up the middle as he'll get minimal yardage to around the 40-yard line. Our fourth quarter brought to you by State Farm Insurance Agent Liz Brumbelow. Liz has a team of licensed agents ready to help with all of your insurance and financial services needs. Be sure to stop in at 620 Bank Street, Suite D in Glencoe, or give them a call at 256-438-5747. You can find them on Facebook and online at myalabamainsurance.com. Punting time for Glencoe as Montgomery will boot it away. Line drive as Hester will watch it roll, and it'll get fielded by Glencoe at the 28-yard line. So Ohatchee will take over first down and 10. And when you're in Glencoe's position, Paul, as far as tough season at 2-5 again, under a first-year coach, and at this point of the year when you still have, including tonight, 3 games left, and you know your postseason hopes are out, it's tough to kind of get your players motivated to try and fight hard the best they can, play the best they can going down the stretch of the season.
Yeah, losing, coaches probably trying to get that out of their system, set a new culture here, and it'll come in time. They got to buy into what he's preaching and go from there. I mean, you got to take the positives, off the film, what you did good, correct the things you're doing, not doing well, and try to improve on them in the last 3 weeks.
Nate Jones gets the carry as he'll have a 6-yard gain in the early moments of this fourth quarter. We had a very nice visit with Bryce Noah and Chris Ferguson for our FNN coaches show this past Tuesday night, and they felt really good, and I would imagine how they wouldn't feel good as far as that wire-to-wire win last week against Hoax Bluff, their first of the season. As here's Noah fighting for some yards across the 35 to about the 38-yard line. And they told us, as far as some of the chemistry issues that they dealt with naturally due to the numerous injuries at the first half of the season, but they were ready for a dogfight tonight. But the main objective, as far as Ohatchee, according to Chris Ferguson and Bryce Noah, was to simply take care of business.
And they pretty much done it all night long.
And then some. Here's the third down carry as Jones will get the first down and more as he'll advance into Glencoe territory across the 50 to about the 48-yard line. We'll call that a gain of 16 yards on third down and short to move the sticks. So it should be a very short but pleasant bus ride back for Ohatchee. A short little trip south for them. Actually, I got to see both got to see Mrs. Chris Findlay kind of pop in here in our press box location right there during one of the last breaks or so. As the handoff goes to Howell on the jet sweep for about a yard. Solid defense that time. So there you see Gaskin as well as one of his teammates helping out on the tackle.
Yeah, one of the better times Glencoe played that jet sweep play all night.
Matthew Williams also assisting as far as his defensive tackle spot. But yeah, that's, very well, Paul, as far as the life of a coach, but also the impact, positive and negative, it can have on the families as well.
I always said a coach's wife should have a free ticket to heaven when it's all said and done with.
Here's the give to Nate Jones as he'll plow forward across the 45 to about the 42-yard line. As it looks as if that Chris Findlay's going to keep things on the ground for Ohatchee the rest of the way. Get out of this one, hopefully without any players getting hurt, and leave Glencoe with a hard-earned win. And our next game of the week on Friday with our countdown to kickoff beginning at 6:30. As always, it'll be a region title matchup for Ragland and Spring Garden. Saw Spring Garden about 3 weeks ago with an outstanding performance at Cedar Bluff. As here's the pitch back going to Baswell as he'll go to the end zone for his first touchdown of the night. 43 yards on the touchdown run for Jesse Baswell.
That play's been there for them all night long. Again, they just got more perimeter speed than Glencoe has. You know, they're not wasn't bad played out there, but when he's got more speed than you got, there's nothing really you can do.
Shall we say, Paul, a little bread and butter play in the playbook tonight for Ohatchee?
Pretty much so. I mean, the corner right there had a chance to come up, make a play, miss the tackle, and then he's out the gate for a touchdown.
Man coming on for the point after. That's on the way, and that is good. So we'll take the timeout. As it's been all Ohatchee tonight here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNM Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The 2022 season of the FNN Game of the Week, sponsored as always by the Calhoun County Commission. If you're looking for the perfect place to live, start a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Fourth quarter, as we're at 7:44 remaining in our battle for the belt, and Ohatchee will be taking that belt back down south into Calhoun County. And they'll have the belt in their trophy case after tonight. So Bryce Noah set to kick off. Connor Montgomery to receive deep. As another squib kick hops around as Aaron Mann will field and advance it to around the 36, maybe the 37-yard line. State Farm Insurance agent Liz Brumbelow presents our fourth quarter with her team of licensed agents ready to help with all of your insurance and financial services needs. Be sure to stop in at 620 Bank Street, Suite D in Glencoe, or give her a call at 256-438-5747. And also she can be found on Facebook and at myalabamainsurance.com. Here's the pitch back. This will be Austin Mann getting some room. Check that, Aaron Mann with his best run of the night into Ohatchee territory at the 46-yard line. We'll take a second look at that first down carry. And a little of what Ohatchee's been running that
same
time.
Play, yeah. I believe we got a lot of clean white shirts out there on defense, so you may have some sub, let some of them younger kids play with a score like it is. You know, they practice hard all week, too. Let them get in the game.
Paul, you mentioned the clean white shirt's going to make an easy washing assignment for the managers after the game.
But now they all get a little action. You may have to wash them all now.
So approaching 7 minutes left in the ball game. As Fairley gets a low snap, and he'll pitch it back out to Aaron Mann as he has a head of steam and gets the first down and more as he'll get wrestled down at the 25-yard line. So another solid first down run that time. So the line of scrimmage was at the 46-yard line. That goes all the way down to the 25 for an 21-yard gain, rather. As there you see the tackle that might have also helped prevent a touchdown for Ohatchee. So Dane Zavala in the ball game helping out on the tackle. The quarterback keeper has Fairley finds some room up the middle and gets to the 20-yard line. So this is one of the first, I think, second red zone opportunity for Glencoe's offense tonight. We did see Gavin Bray miss a 38-yard field goal wide to the right in the second quarter. both teams keeping it on the ground and just trying to get to the finish line here tonight. Low snap, but the pitch back goes to Aaron Mann as he'll round right end and heads forward toward the 11-yard line, and he'll pick up another first down. The town of Ohatchee supporting us this week. A big thanks to Mayor Baswell and the council from the town of Ohatchee for their support of the FNN Game of the Week this week. So another first down carry. Approaching 5.5 minutes left in our battle for the belt. Snap, and the straight ahead give goes to Aaron Mann. As does he get in? They're going to spot him at the 1-yard line. But that is enough for a first and goal situation.
Good job by the quarterback staying with that low snap.
He's done that about 4 or 5 times so far. I think just about on every snap. Been a little low on this drive. So first and goal from the 1-yard line for the Glencoe Yellow Jackets. As there you see basically the jumbo package for Glencoe as Fairley off right guard going toward the end zone and in for the touchdown. So Glencoe gets on the board with a 1-yard touchdown run by Noah Fairley, the quarterback. As that'll make it now 49-6. So Bray should be coming on, actually the special teams unit. And indeed, Bray coming on for his first point after kick of the night. Gavin Bray, who Scott Martin called a very solid kicker for the Yellow Jackets so far this season, as we have a late substitution, at least as far as the special teams protection unit for Glencoe. So Bray, the soccer-style kicker, on for the point after. That's up, and that is no good. So we'll take the timeout as Glencoe on the board, but down 49-6 here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
At Glencoe Hokes Bluff Funeral Home and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home, we see our community as extended family.
Hello, I'm Mark Box. My wife Holly and I would like to thank the families that we have had the honor to serve. We see our community as our extended family. That's why we work so hard to invest in our community and the families that call it home. At Glencoe Hokes Bluff Funeral Home and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home, you'll find services that are tailored to meet your needs, whatever those may be.
Piedmont Cutoff Highway in Glencoe and Highway 431 in Anniston. Our family serving your family.
The 2022 season of the FNN Game of the Week, presented to you by Young Oil Grub Mart. As Ohatchee leads 49-6 in our battle for the belt, Young Oil Grub Mart, home of the 99-cent bag of ice and everybody's favorite, the popcorn bucket. Buy yours and get free popcorn refills for an entire year. The Ohatchee Indians 49 and the Glencoe Yellow Jackets 6. As State Farm Insurance Agent Liz Brumbelow presents our fourth quarter coverage for the Battle of the Belt. There's a pooch kick for Bray. A sky kick rather, as that'll be fielded by Devin Howell. Breaking one tackle, sidestepping another, and now he's in the open field, and he's trying to send it back for 6 as he'll get knocked out of bounds deep into Glencoe territory. As Ohatchee checked at Baswell on the return, as Ohatchee has done basically almost everything right so far tonight. As outstanding blocking that time, and Baswell returns the football deep into Yellow Jackets territory inside the 20 around the 18-yard line. But we saw on the last defensive possession something you were mentioning to me during the break, Paul. Chris Findley getting a lot of his reserves, especially a lot of those younger players, which constitute a majority of the roster into this game tonight.
Yeah, that's good. They getting all those kids in the game.
So it looks like some more of the reserves getting some opportunities on offense. As looks like Bryce Noah's night at quarterback is going to come to an end. as we come toward the final minutes of this ball game, under 4.5 minutes to go in the game. So there you see Grayson Freeman, one of the seniors, one of the reserves for Ohatchee in the game. It's like Jake Roberson, that's one of the starting safeties, now in at quarterback. Also a new running back in Justin Hernandez in the ball game, as Hernandez will get the carry. About a couple of yards. Sets up a third down and about medium to go. So Chris Fendley emptying the roster for the rest of the ball game, as they will take the belt home with them after tonight's ball game. So we'll have we saw them on Tuesday night for our FNN Coaches Show, as far as Chris Fendley and his two players, Bryce Noah and Chris Ferguson. And be sure to tune in for our next FNN Coaches Show on Tuesday night from 7 to 8:30 at Struts Wings in Oxford. Third down and 4, as it'll be Hernandez on the carry. Not much running room to speak of. On solid defense by Glencoe up front. Caleb Chapman, along with about 3 others helping out for Glencoe on the tackle. Clock under 3 minutes to go in the football game, as 4th down and 4 coming up.
They did a good job running that play clock down to about 4 seconds when they snapped the ball.
So Roberson will take the snap here in just a moment. Hernandez alongside him. Hernandez now coming in motion as Roberson trying to sweep it off of the right side, as he'll go forward, and I don't think he was able to get the first down. Looks like it's about a yard or so shy of the first down, so a nice defensive stand that time by Glencoe, as Ohatchee will turn it over on downs. State Farm Insurance Agent Liz Brumbelow presents our 4th quarter. Liz has a team of licensed agents ready to help with all of your insurance and financial services needs. Stop in at 620 Bank Street, Suite D in Glencoe, or give them a call at 256-438-5747. Visit them on Facebook or at myalabamainsurance.com. Here's the pitch back going to Aaron Mann, as he'll sidestep a couple of defenders and get the first down across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Looks as if, Paul, this is probably going to be the final time that we see Glencoe on offense tonight. So getting some nice production so far in the 4th quarter from Aaron Mann.
Kind of going with a quick pitch like Ohatchee's hurt them with all night.
Noah Fairley with the only touchdown of the ball game for Glencoe on a 1-yard quarterback keeper. Here's the keeper for Fairley, as he'll get to about the 25-yard line as we go under 2 minutes to go in the football game. Our battle for the belt, as Ohatchee will take home our FNN belt after tonight. Ohatchee led 14-0 after 1, 28-0 at halftime. And they've been able to take a 42-0 lead after 3 and have added a touchdown so far in this 4th quarter. Ohatchee only scoring about 11 and change per ball game, but scoring their season high of 49 tonight, as Aaron Mann will pick up another first down for the Glencoe Yellow Jackets, or check that Montgomery on that last carry. So some of the reserves for both teams are getting some quality playing time here in the 4th quarter. So Glencoe will close out their home schedule in less than 1 minute, as next week it'll be Plainview and Ohatchee for the Indians' final game of the season. Here's the pitch, as it'll be Aaron Mann getting maybe a yard to around the 35-yard line, as Glencoe may have one more play in them before wrapping it up for tonight.
52 there of Ohatchee did a good job setting the edge and turned the ball back in where he had some help.
So less than 30 seconds left in tonight's ball game. Deacon Engel helping out on that tackle that Paul just referenced. This should be the final play of the ball game as Fairley will take it off of left guard and advances it to around the 39-yard line as Chris Findley bests his old coaching mentor in Scott Martin tonight for our Battle of the Belt. And a solid all-around performance, a dominating performance for the Ohatchee Indians as they go on the road and take home the FNN belt for this season in a 49-6 win at Glencoe. We'll take the time out and we will put a bow on tonight's FNN Game of the Week after this.
Did you hear that? The State Farm thing. Dun-da-da-da-da. I think we in a commercial. Jake from State Farm, I knew it.
Don't worry, Chris. Things are gonna go surprisingly great.
Dad, look!
Chris!
Ooh, see? Surprising. Just like State Farm's surprisingly great rates.
I didn't even record.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Our FNN Game of the Week, our Battle for the Belt, will be awarded to Ohatchee as they win wire to wire for the second consecutive week, this time over Glencoe, 49-6 as the two teams meet for a post-game prayer. And really a big night all the way around, offense, defense, and special teams. But quarterback Bryce Noah with another big night with 4 total touchdowns. We'll be awarding our Battle for the Belt to Ohatchee after the game. A big thanks to Jim Jacobs and my partner, all to my right, Paul Farlow, and all of the rest of our FNN crew tonight. We'll be at Ragland next Friday night for Spring Garden and Ragland, and be sure to tune in Tuesday at 7 o'clock for the FNN Coaches Show from Strutt's Wings in Oxford. And there you see that 1A Region 6 title game matchup next week for Ragland hosting a powerful Spring Garden squad. So for all of our fine folks that you just saw, James Hardy signing off as you have been watching the FNN High School Football Game of the Week and our Battle for the Belt.